will serve us so well. And again, thank you from our hearts. Another round of applause. Maria, you started out. Identify yourself.
Thank you, Bill. Good evening, everyone. I'm Maria Giesta. I'm the Ward 2 City Councilor here in New Bedford. Thank you. It really is a pleasure to be here tonight. Thank you, Buddy, for, again, organizing this event. I will say it's always nice to look out in the crowd and see friendly and happy faces, along with the happy and friendly faces of my colleagues. So I think it's really important to really put forward the wonderful job that the City Council does and how we represent not only the wards that we represent, but the city as a whole. It's great that we do have a great group of people. It's truly an honor for me to be working with a great group of men and women who truly take their jobs very seriously. I'm a public servant. I've been in service in government, God, I hate to admit it, for about 40 years. That's how old I am, so don't add any 20s to that. For me, public service is very important. It definitely demonstrates a connection between us and the community. And I wish that more people, more young people, would get into government service, because it is an honor to represent you, the constituency, on a lot of the work that we do. It may sound minimal, but those phone calls that we receive about the pothole, about the sidewalk, about a light, those are very important. Those are the people that we stay in touch with, that vote for us, that care about the city, and I truly believe that's the most important thing that we have in New Bedford, is that connection with community, the people that care about their neighborhoods, the people that care about their schools, the people that care about their streets, our police department, our fire department, EMS. These are the important issues before us every day in this city. So thank you very much for coming out here, and I'll pass it on. I'm in Ward 2. I am the sitting Ward 2 City Councilor.
Sean Oliver, Ward 3 City Councilor.
Baptiste, Ward 4 City Council.
Irene Hernandez, Ward 5.
Yes, by all means.
So my question, so the school committee and the city council need to work together in order to pass our school budget. So when the school budget gets passed, it's presented to us by the superintendent along with our assistant superintendent of finance and operations. It's presented to us at a net school spending. So for those who don't understand, net school spending is the bare minimum that we are saying we need in order to educate our children in the city of Bedford. How do you see yourself working with school committee members to make sure that we pass a budget that funds our schools at bare minimum? How do you see, how can we collaborate, how can we work together so that we're not getting the mayor who does a different number that puts forward and then city council cuts it even more?
Well, I think that's a great question, and I was elected in 2017, and I can honestly say that I really have never sat down with anyone from the school committee. We've never honestly had a conversation, and I think it is important, but we're here to work with anyone and everyone that needs it or approaches us about the mayor's budget. It's not an easy choice for us to cut the budget, but that's part of our job, because unfortunately we can't add to the budget. I think people need to understand that. We cannot add to the mayor's budget. I would love to add as much money as possible to Department of, to the education, to the school committees. It is important because I've been very lucky enough to have a great education. From primary school to junior high and high school. New Bedford High, ladies and gentlemen, is one of the best high schools that we have. I was lucky to go to what is now UMass Dartmouth, which when I was there, during the dinosaurs was at SMU. So we would love to work. I know I would. I think it is important for every elected official to work together. And I would like to see more of that. The good news is that, and as you know, whenever the superintendent comes before us, we can always restore the budget, money to the different departments, which is really good news. It's not just about cutting, it's making sure that everyone is being properly budgeted, and I think we do a pretty good job of saving the taxpayers a lot of money at the end of the day. But yeah, I personally would love to sit down with the members of the school committee because I think it's important, very, very important to do that.
I have worked here for about 6 years, and short 6 years, but significant 6 years I've been here. I've come to learn that this community is very much divided. There's a lot of silos here between the wards. There's a lack of, it's not a community because there isn't unity. There is disconnect. There is lack of transparency. There is lack of communication. I just helped Ward 1 battle and win a fight against a major project that would come to the community and it impacted all of the wards, not just Ward 1, and yet there was so much silence that is unacceptable. So my question is for city councilors, what have you done or not done to bridge those gaps and close those divides? And if you haven't, what are you going to do differently to do that? And if you're a new candidate, what are you?
Well, I will say this. I think overall, we all work very well together. There are going to be differences of opinion. Yes, the ward councilors do represent a certain section of the city, and the at-larges, as it is at-large, represents the whole city. We are very lucky, unfortunately, Council President Shane Burgo just stepped away before I was going to say some nice things about him. We're very lucky of having a council president who knows how to navigate the city council in the sense of what's coming up on the agenda, reaching out to us. He also meets with the mayor on a regular basis, and we all may have different relationships with each other, but I think in the end we all respect each other, our differences and our similarities, and I think that's what's great about the city council that we have. As a ward councilor, you are going to navigate more to your area, but I live in the North End, and so I have Ward 1 and Ward 3, right? And then we have the other wards that go from downtown to the South End. But in the end, we all work very well together. We're going to have our differences of opinion, and that's the beauty of the United States of America. And as government employees ourselves, we do, I think, a great job in representing New Bedford, not only our wards, but the city as a whole. And I'm very lucky with my, council colleagues here. They're great people. We work very hard. I think people forget how hard we do work because, as the councilor from Ward 3 said, we just don't go to events in our ward. We're out there throughout the whole ward, the whole city. So I think we do a very good job, and I think we represent the city very, very well. Thank you. I think we represent the city very, very well. Thank you.
Another question. Yes, by all means. Dana, is that you?
Yes,
Okay.
hi.
Yes.
So I'm lucky enough, I adopted a dog, I walk all over the city, pretty much 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Every day I have a conversation with a different person. This question is more, so when I return, I can answer them. So council is the check and balance in the city. And many people that I talk to feel like the individual wards don't get money, but there's always money for downtown, specifically a small part of downtown. So I know you all represent different wards. Maria, I've worked with you. I know I haven't worked with the others, like how pliable you are. But what is the plan for you guys to work together to figure out how you can pull money out of that and bring it into your own individual wards? I'd like to give a specific example so everyone knows what I'm talking about. BID, Business Industrial District. Recently, the mayor gave $180,000 to AHA. The person in charge of AHA is very, very, very keen on BID. She recently moved here, bought some businesses. Now she's in charge of $180,000. Part of her duties is to manage downtown. I don't know what that means. And the BID, from my experience, living the time I spent in Los Angeles, where it started there in Santa Monica, it was horrible for small businesses and communities. And it's poison in a well, it seeps out. So this would be like a great sort of example of what you all can do to work together, to put something together to erase the possibility of that ever becoming legislation, and working not only to help Ward 4, but to also, that would also in turn help the other wards as well.
Well, Dana, a great question, and I can tell you right now that I could probably go on for about an hour of how disappointing it is that the focus is always about downtown. And trust me, we need a strong and vibrant downtown. But I represent an area of the city from Coggeshall Street all the way close to Tarkin Hill, down to Belleville Avenue, and up to Church Street. Acushnet Avenue probably has more restaurants than Union Street. I can also tell you that most restaurants downtown, you know, we support the downtown area. It's a great area. Of course, you need a strong and vibrant downtown. Nobody is denying that. What I don't like is believing that the rest of the city is not important for the economic makeup of the city. We bring a lot of revenue. Ward 2 contributes a lot to the city. And when I go to the mayor and I ask for anything, it's always a pushback. Now remember, my colleagues, I believe the city got $84 million in ARPA funds. And the mayor came to us and asked us to please list, you know, projects or items in your ward that you thought it was important. I don't think I got one thing. And I have businesses like Danny's Seafood, Barasso's Hardware, that's been in the city for over 100 years. Foco Jewelers, that's been around for 100 years. And all the other restaurants. And the only thing they asked for was for the facade, replace their windows. And the answers were no. So again, I understand how important downtown is, but so is the rest of the city. And we need to make sure that everyone, every ward is respected in the same manner. Because unfortunately, we get pushed back and we get called names and we get called like, oh, she's not cooperating. That's not the case. I will continue to fight for Ward 2 every day and get the respect that it needs. Just like my colleagues here. Ward 3, Ward 4, except for Union's downtown, sorry. And Ward 5, right? We all want respect. We're all here to work together, and I'm very lucky again to have great colleagues. But other people need to step up, and they need to make those phone calls, because we're all important and we all need to work together. Acushnet Avenue is a great place. please come up to the North End. You'll love it. Thank you.
One more question. Are all of you all set on the answers? Do you want to, we will give you a chance to wrap things up. Another question, the last one? Yes.
My first question was about specifically the ICE raids in schools and stuff. In April, we had a pretty dreadful kidnapping of a man, Juan Francisco Mendez. He was taken out of his car, his window smashed. And aside from the horror of that situation, being taken in front of a loved one, my first thought was, this dude's window just got wrecked. Like, how are they going to drive this car? You know, that's a massive financial burden. And in fact, the New Bedford Light then put out an article about how these ICE raids are stealing the incomes of a lot of these disadvantaged and undocumented, or at least not currently properly situated immigrants. All Juan Francisco Mendez did was attempt to get his asylum claim validated, and it was taking a long time. How are we going to help these people through these financial times? Is there a system set in place from the city to actually like aid them in this time? And if not, when are we going to see that?
As far as I know, I'm not aware of any city assistance. I may be wrong. It is an unfortunate reality that we are dealing with, not only in our city, but throughout the country. I will say this as someone who worked in the federal government for almost 30 years, and now at the city level, and I don't mean this disrespectfully or trying to brush it under the table, or it's really not under our jurisdiction, and I don't mean that we really can't get involved in that issue. And I will say this, the federal government has failed us at many levels. And I don't care if you're a Republican, a Democrat, conservative, liberal. I would say probably from Ronald Reagan until now, the federal government has failed us, and failed us when it comes to the immigration issue, which is a very difficult issue going on in this country, and has been going on for 20 or 30 or 40 years. I really don't have the answers. I don't think, you know, I'm an immigrant myself. I came to this country when I was 3 years old. My grandmother, my paternal grandmother, was born in the United States in 1904, but went back. My father and his siblings were born there, and luckily he had an American mother and therefore could come to the United States, and I'm proud of both. I'm proud of being an immigrant, and I'm proud of being an American. It was a very difficult time, and I really don't have the answers of what we can do at the city level. I really don't know. Luckily, there are programs and organizations that can help with that. And I hope that maybe people in the audience are aware of those organizations. But it is a tough issue to deal with. And as an immigrant and as an American, I wish I had the right answer, or just an answer of what we're going to do and how we should be respectful to people who are human beings, period. And City Council, I will say this, overall, we have a great relationship. And what's great about being on the New Bedford City Council is that you can agree to disagree. And that's very important, not only in life, but in government. That in the end, we all will work together. You may not agree on the same issues or how to accomplish something, but we respect each other and we'll work together. And you know, don't believe all the hype that you may hear out there. We do work very hard for our constituency and for the city as a whole. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the most important thing in government. It's not about us, it's about you. So please, if you live in Ward 2, please vote for me, or if you have family or friends or anyone that you know, please tell them about me, and they can reach me, via email, cell phone, whatever they like. I am very accessible. Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Thank you all. Sarah?